Hi all, welcome to Code IQ. So in this video we are going to see about else if ladder. In previous videos we have discussed about if statement and if else, and next is else if ladder under decision making statements. So in this else if ladder it differs from previous statements by having multiple else and if blocks, which means in if statement we will have only the if block. In if else we will have the if block and the else block. In case if the condition in if blocks becomes false, else will be executed. But here we will have multiple else and if blocks, which means if the first condition becomes true, this statement if statements will be executed. In case if it becomes false, it checks for the next condition in the else if block, and if it gets true, that set of statements will be executed. So at last, if none of the condition gets true, it simply executes the statement given in the else block. Now we will explain this with an example. Here we have a variable called mark. So we are reading the value of that mark from the user using scanf statement. Here, in case if the user enters the marks as 70. Now this is the value of the variable called marks. So here the first condition is if the marks is greater than or equal to 90. Is that true? Is 70 greater than or equal to 90? No. So the condition becomes false. So that statement is not executed. Next it checks for the next else if block. If the mark which is 70 is greater than or equal to 75, no. So this printf is also not executed. So it checks for the next else if block. If the given mark is greater than or equal to 60, yes, correct, it is greater than 60. So this printf is executed, and this will be your output. So your output will be grade C. In case if none of this else if block has or met that condition, it simply prints the statement given in the else block, which is fail. And this is your sample output. The user has entered the mark 65, which is greater than or equal to 60. So this printf is executed. Hope you are clear. So else if block will have multiple conditions to get checked and else statements. Thank you.